I left your town before the morning, with frost still sleeping on the glass. The radio's barely talking, like it was scared to bring you back. My hands were cold around the steering wheel. The sky was black, the road was wide, and every mile I put between us still kept you sitting by my side. I thought leaving would feel like freedom. I thought distance would make me strong. But the further I drove from your window, the more I knew that I was wrong. Cold roads still remember us. Every turn, every midnight rush, every word we never said still burns somewhere inside my chest. And if the rain keeps coming down, let it wash this silence out. Cold roads still remember us, even when love turns into dust. There's a chapel near the ocean where the wind sings through the storm. I stopped there with no reason, just to feel less alone. I lit a match against the darkness, watched it tremble, watched it die. And for a second in that silence, I could hear your last goodbye. Maybe hearts don't break like thunder, maybe they just lose their light. Maybe love becomes a country you can't return to in this life. Cold roads still remember us. Every turn, every midnight rush, every word we never said still burns somewhere inside my chest. And if the rain keeps coming down, let it wash this silence out. Cold roads still remember us, even when love turns into dust. I was young enough to run, old enough to know some doors don't stay open, some lights don't lead you home. But I still see your face in the headlights and the rain, like the north itself is whispering that nothing leaves without a trace. Cold roads still remember us. Every scar, every broken trust, every night I drove too far, trying to escape my own heart. And if the dawn comes cold and blue, I'll still carry what was true. Cold roads still remember us, even when love turns into dust. So let the rain fall over me, let the dark road set me free. If I can't return to what we were, I'll become the man who learned. Cold roads still remember us. Cold roads still remember us. And somewhere in the northern rain, I finally let go of your name. Back then I thought love was lightning, something loud and hard to hold. But you arrived like quiet snowfall, turning empty nights to gold. No grand entrance, no explosions, just your tired eyes at mine. And suddenly the world felt softer for the very first time. I didn't know a heart could heal without making any sound. I didn't know peace could exist inside another human being. I loved you long before I understood love, before I knew what home could mean, before I knew a single person could calm the storms inside of me. And every cold northern horizon feels warmer when you're near, like the whole world finally exhaled the moment you appeared. You saw through every mask I carried, every joke I used to hide, and somehow you still stayed beside me when even I could not. There were nights I felt unworthy, like I was too damaged to keep, but your voice kept pulling me back from the darkest parts of me. Maybe love is not perfection, maybe love is being seen, still being held gently after everything you reveal. I loved you long before I understood love, before I knew what home could mean, before I knew a single person could calm the storms inside of me. And every cold northern horizon feels warmer when you're near, like the whole world finally exhaled the moment you appear. I've heard oceans rage like thunder, I watched forests bend in storms, but nothing has ever moved me like hearing you whisper my name. I loved you long before I understood love, and I love you when we both grow old. When our hands shake, when our voices crack, when the northern nights turn cold, and if this life keeps testing us, if darkness fills the sky above, I will still look at you the same way I did the first time. Because before you, I survived, but after you, I finally lived. I miss you in the way the ocean moves beneath the silver moon. I miss you in the empty spaces every time I leave the room. There's a sweater on the chair still, smells a little bit like you. And some nights that tiny detail feels impossible to lose. I thought time would make it easier. The distance slowly heals. But some people stay inside you, no matter where you leave. I miss you in every beautiful thing, in every northern sky, in every song cold wind sings, in every sleepless night. And if loving you hurts this much, then maybe that's proof it was real. Because nothing in this empty world has ever felt the way you feel. I drove all night beside the coastline, trying not to call your name. The loneliness has its own language, and grief still sounds the same. Every lighthouse in the darkness looked like something holding on. Like maybe broken hearts survive by learning how to carry love. Maybe missing someone deeply is another form of prayer. Maybe love becomes eternal the moment they on and there. In every northern sky, in every song the cold wind sings, in every sleepless night. And if loving you hurts this much, then maybe that's proof it was real. Because nothing in this empty world has ever felt the way you feel. Against the windshield, like heaven trying to speak. And somewhere in that storm, I realize you're still living everything I keep. I miss you and every beautiful thing. But maybe that's alright, 'cause loving you still fills the dark with fragments of your light. And if someday you hear this song while staring at the ocean blue, just know every road I ever loved still somehow leads to you. Let the cold wind carry this across the forests and the sea. No matter how far this world turns, a part of me still belongs to you. The apartment hums like an old machine. Rain keeps crawling down the window screen. Your cup still waits beside the sink. like it still believes you're walking.
Streetlights drown inside the fog. Midnight trains still softly talk,
and every room inside this place still carries shadows of your shape.
I keep hearing your footsteps in places you'll never return. Some people leave slowly, even after they're gone.
Northern lights don't warm empty rooms, but I still stare at them for you. Somewhere between the ocean and the moon, I lost the only place that felt true. And all these roads keep leading back to memories I can't undo. Northern lights don't warm empty rooms,
But they still remind me of you.
gas station near the coast still glows like a dying ghost. Same old radio playing low, songs we loved a year ago. I drive through forests drenched in mist, trying not to coexist
With the silence sitting near, like it belongs inside me here.
Maybe growing older is learning how to bleed quietly. Maybe love was never loud. Maybe it was there. Northern lights don't warm empty rooms, but I still stare at them for you. Somewhere between the ocean and the moon, I lost the only place that felt true. And all these roads keep leading back to memories I can't undo. Northern lights don't warm empty rooms,
But they still remind me of you.
I saw your face in airplane windows, in sleeping cities and frozen lakes.
And I realized some people become landscapes
After they leave. Northern lights don't warm empty rooms, but I still carry what we knew. Through every storm, every endless blue, every night I'm driving through. And if the world ends quietly under cold celestial views, northern lights don't warm empty rooms,
but they still lead me back to you.
I was sleeping in my own shadows, half alive and half erased. Every mirror in the apartment looked exhausted with my face. When I pressed against the windows like you wanted to get in, and I wore my loneliness like a second layer of skin. And your voice cut through the silence, soft enough to calm the storm. You didn't ask me to be stronger, you just stayed when nights were long. She found me at my lowest tide, and even hope had left my side. And somehow, through the freezing rain, she told my broken heart to beat again. Now every northern sky above feels less cold because of us, and every road that almost killed me led me straight into her love. Kiss scars I tried to hide, like they never made me weak. And every quiet thing you gave me brought life back into me. Some nights we just sit together, listening to the ocean roar. And I realize I spent my whole life searching for this kind of warmth. Maybe healing isn't magic, maybe healing takes a hand, someone willing to stay beside you while you learn to live again. She found me at my lowest tide, when even hope had left my side. And somehow, through the freezing rain, she taught my broken heart to beat again. Now every northern sky above feels less cold because of us, and every road that almost killed me led me straight into her love. Led me straight into her love. I've seen storms swallow highways, I've watched oceans turn black, but nothing has ever scared me more than the thought of losing that. She found me at my lowest tide and turned my darkness into light. Now every lonely part of me finally has somewhere to hide. And if these tired lungs give out years from now beneath the snow, the final name inside my soul will still be hers alone. So let the cold wind rise tonight, let the whole damn world turn blue. As long as her hands still reach for mine, I know I'll make it through. Oh. Calling through the window, headlights cutting through the fog. Somewhere between the ocean and the sky, I stop feeling like I belong anywhere. I drove for miles beneath the northern lights, trying to outrun the silence in my mind. The radio is barely holding on, like every broken part of me tonight. The ocean looked like space beyond the rails, black waves swallowing the moonlight, and every mile felt like another year since our last felt alive. Maybe home was never really a place, maybe people just carry it for a while, and maybe that's why everything feels colder after goodbye. Where the ocean ends and the sky begins, I hear your voice inside the wind again. Lost between the dark and the northern stars, trying to find out who we really are. If I disappear tonight, let the waves remember me, somewhere between the cold and the light. I still believe there's something waiting. I still believe there's something waiting. The gas station lights were fading slow, like old memories losing color. I watched strangers pass like ghosts, everyone searching for another version of themselves. There's a photograph inside my coat, edges worn from sleepless nights. I almost threw it into the sea, but some pain still feels sacred. And all these roads keep asking me who I became after the leaving. I wish I knew how to stop missing lives I never lived. Where the ocean ends and the sky begins, I hear your voice inside the wind again. Lost between the dark and the northern stars, trying to find out who we really are. If I disappear tonight, let the waves remember me, somewhere between the cold and the light. I still believe there's something waiting. I still believe there's something waiting. Maybe we are all just passing lights, tiny sparks inside a giant night, trying to leave a trace behind before the world forgets our names. The whales beneath the freezing tide still sing like they know something about surviving loneliness, about surviving time. Where the ocean ends and the sky begins, I finally stopped running from myself again. Lost beneath the stars, but healing in the dark, learning that broken things still shine. If tomorrow never comes, I was here, I was alive, somewhere between the waves and the night. I finally found a piece of home. Piece of heart. Cold wind through the silence, the ocean breathing slowly, northern lights above the highway. And for the first time in a while, I wasn't afraid of the dark. I was built from empty hallways, from nights I couldn't survive, from cigarettes and broken mirrors, and trying hard to stay alive. I carried storms inside my silence, like oceans no one else could see. And somehow through the northern darkness, you walked directly into me. And I don't know how you stayed through every version of my pain, but you held my shaking hands like they were never hard to hold. You became my home when I had nowhere left to go. You turned my coldest nights into something close to hope. And if this whole world disappears, if every light above us burns, I still thank God for every road that made me yours. There were mornings I felt hollow, like my soul had disappeared, but your voice could pull me back from places built from fear. You loved me when I was distant, when I barely loved myself, and every quiet thing you gave me saved me more than you could tell. Maybe love is not fireworks, maybe love is staying near when the whole world inside someone feels like it might collapse. You became my home when I had nowhere left to go. You turned my coldest nights into something close to hope. And if this whole world disappears, if every light above us burns, I'll still thank God for every road that made me yours. I've seen oceans, I've seen endless skies, but nothing in this world has ever felt as safe as falling asleep beside you. You became my home, the only fire in the cold, and every lonely part of me finally found somewhere to rest. So if one day my voice grows old and these tired hands lose strength, I'll still reach for you like the first night that we met. And when the rain returns again and northern winds begin to howl, just hold my heart the way you do, and I will always find my way back home to you. I thought adulthood meant freedom, big apartments, peace of mind. Nobody tells you it feels lonely, watching all your dreams divide. Friends become occasional phone calls, parents slowly start to age, and one day you look around you, wondering how you got this way. I thought we'd have more time, more nights, more conversations, but life kept moving quietly without our permission. I still visit old locations just to feel something again. Parking lots and empty diners where we once believed we'd win. And I miss the simple version of the person I became before responsibilities turned my heart into a cage. I thought we'd have more time, more nights, more conversations, but life kept moving quietly without our permission. Our permission. Maybe growing up means grieving every virgin left behind, learning every beautiful moment was temporary by design. I thought we'd have more time, but maybe this is life itself, holding love with shaking hands, knowing nothing really stays. I left the town before the morning, with frost still sleeping on the glass. The road was empty like a warning, and I kept driving through my past. Every light behind me faded, every word I never said rose a quiet in the silence, like a ghost inside my head. I am alone under the aurora, with a heart I cannot hide. All these northern roads inside me lead me back to what I left behind. The radio broke into static, the moon was hanging pale and low. I saw your face in every headlight, like you were asking me to go. And the sky began to open, like a wound above the trees. I kept breathing through the darkness, but the dark was breathing me. To what I left behind. Maybe home was never a place. Maybe home was just your name. And I was too young to understand why leaving never kills the pain. I am alone under the aurora, but I still feel you by my side. All these northern roads inside me carry what I left behind. The dawn is cold, the road is wide. I drive on with you inside. The airport smelled like sleepless mornings, coffee cups and heavy rain, people moving toward their futures, while I stood there full of weight. You kept fixing your blue sweater, trying hard not to break down, and the silence between our bodies was the loudest thing around. We said goodbye without meaning it, like love could survive flight, like two hearts could ignore distance if they tried hard enough at night. Your plane disappeared through clouds, like a memory leaving Earth, and I hated every second that proved what we were worth. 'Cause nobody talks about grieving someone who's still alive, how a person can keep breathing while disappearing from your life. We said goodbye without meaning it, like love could survive the flight, like two hearts could ignore distance if they tried hard enough at night. In my dreams at 3 a.m. every sentence sounds like losing someone you may never hold again. We said goodbye without meaning it, but life meant it anyway. And some people become oceans you can never fully cross again. Glass reflections, runway lights, your fading silhouette into the night. The power lines went dead at midnight. The
sky turned violet and strange. People ran toward the highways like escape could change a thing. But you pulled me toward the shoreline with your hand around my wrist, and for one impossible moment the world felt beautifully still. We danced while cities burned, under falling satellites, and I've never felt more human than beside you in that light. There were sirens in the distance, there was ash inside the rain, but your heartbeat kept me grounded, like love survived the flames. And the ocean looked eternal, black and endless in the dark, like the universe reminding us how small we really are. We danced while cities burned, under falling satellites, and I've never felt more human than beside you in that light. Maybe every ending teaches what truly matters in the end, not the money or the buildings, just the people that we held. So if tomorrow never finds us, if the stars all disappear, I will still call this a beautiful life, because I had you here. Red skies, ocean waves, two small hearts at the edge. The train moved slowly through the darkness, like it carried tired souls. Everyone asleep beside me, while my mind refused to close. Street lights flicker through the windows, like old memories passing by. And I kept replaying moments
was too afraid to fight for at the time. Somewhere between two cities, I realize what I've become. A man still chasing old versions of a life already gone. There was coffee growing colder on the table by my hand, and reflections in the glass looked like a stranger wearing my skin. I thought distance healed the damage, but the silence followed me. 'Cause the hardest thing to outrun is the person underneath. Somewhere between two cities, I realize what I'd become. A man still chasing old versions of a life already gone. Just grief in motion still, trying to find a destination that can finally help us heal. Somewhere between two cities, under fading midnight skies, I stopped asking where I'm going and asked who I am inside. And the train keeps moving slowly through the dark and through the rain. Maybe I am still becoming someone I can love again. Two wheels moved beneath the aurora, like ancient spirits through the sea, and the water glowed around them like forgotten memories.
tide against the shore. But somehow hearing you say it made me fear it less before. The ocean carries our names long after we disappear. Maybe love is simply leaving echoes somewhere here. There were stars inside the black waves. There was silver in your hair, and I felt the universe breathing through the silence in the air. Every heartbeat sounded distant, like a lighthouse through the fog. And for one eternal moment, I forgot everything I lost. The ocean carries our names long after we disappear. Maybe love is simply leaving echoes somewhere here. Maybe nothing truly vanishes. Maybe we become the rain, the waves, the forest, the starlight, returning over and over again. The ocean carries our names, even when our bodies fade. And somewhere beneath the northern lights, part of us will always stay. Dark sea, soft glow, northern skies moving slow.
I saw two whales above the Black Sea, moving slowly through the stars, like they carried every memory that was too heavy for our hearts. And the wind came from the water with a voice I almost knew. It said nothing lasts forever, but the light still follows you. When the ocean calls me home, I will not be afraid. I have lost enough to know some things return as waves. feel my younger self there, asking if we'd be okay. So I held the night like mercy, let the salt run down my face. For the first time in the darkness, I did not feel out of place. When the ocean calls me home, I will not be afraid. I have lost enough to know some things return as waves. Tell the sky I understood. Every ending has a doorway, every wound can turn to wood. When the ocean calls me home, I will walk into the grave, not because the pain is over, but because I found my way. Whales in the stars, moon on the foam. I was lost, now I am home. Blue light flickers through the apartment, 4 a.m. and I can't sleep. Taxi sirens in the distance, like the city's talking to me. Empty bottles by the window, rain runs slowly down the glass. Everybody here looks busy, trying hard not to collapse. And the nights keep getting longer since you disappeared from view. Funny how a million people still can't stop me missing you. Neon lights can't warm a frozen heart. No crowded room can pull me from the dark. Every stranger here feels temporary. Every smile disappears, and the city keeps on breathing while I slowly come undone. Somewhere underneath these highways, I'm still chasing who I was. I keep driving past the river where we used to waste our time, talking about escaping somewhere far beyond these flashing signs. Now your number's disconnected, like the life we tried to build. And the silence after midnight feels louder than it should. Still the radio plays softly, songs back before the world became this cold and heavy all around. Neon lights can warm a frozen heart. No crowded room can pull me from the dark. Every stranger here feels temporary. Every smile disappears, and the city keeps on breathing while I slowly come undone. Somewhere underneath these highways, I'm still chasing who I was. Maybe home was never a place. Maybe it was just your voice. Maybe losing you forever wasn't something I could survive. Neon lights fade into morning. Rain dissolves the empty streets. And somewhere in another lifetime, maybe you still wait for me. But tonight the city's endless, and my shadow walks alone, searching through these broken skylines for a feeling called home. Taxi sirens in the distance, like the city's talking to me.